What's going on, cryptocurrency universe? It's the Bitcoin miner here, guys. Alright, well, sorry it took me a couple of days longer extra to get the rest of the build going. Just been really busy. But, well, we're up to the next part. We've got Windows installed on this bad boy. And I went ahead and took the liberty of installing the LAN driver so that we can get internet. So I can show you guys exactly how to go ahead and do the rest of the drivers, because we need to install all the drivers for the boards. If you guys missed the first video, when we actually were building this, it's a few videos back. I'll put a link down in the description so you guys can go make sure to check that out. Also, my neighbor Dano hooked me up with this awesome mug right here. You got Bitcoin on it, everything. It's a thermo mug, really nice. We did a build for Dano. If you guys missed that as well, I'll put a link down in the description. You should go check that video out. We did a really cool build for him. And we should do an update video as well, hopefully here soon. So again, I want to say thank you, Dano, for that. Guys, alright, so let's get to it. Now, what we're going to have to do, the easiest thing to do is once you install your new motherboard and you've got everything in your Windows up and running, is you can either hook up a CD-ROM drive, something like this one right over here in the corner, or you can take a flash drive and go on another computer, just like the one over here to my left, and then go to their website. So I went to ASRock's website right here, and I scrolled down, and we're going to go to support, and then we're going to download their drivers. Download. Yep, here we go. So these are all of the drivers for the board. So you're going to want to select, like, if you're in China, Europe, US, Asia. So of course I selected US. And you want to go ahead and download every single one of these and plan on installing them. I did not do the Norton Security one. That's the only one I skipped, Norton Security. So I will also put a link to this page in the description down below, guys. So that way you can easily get to this, and this is how you're going to get the drivers. I say just put it on a flash drive. I already took the liberty of doing so. Oops. And I made a file here. So I need to go through now and install all of these drivers. I've only installed this one. And it's just go in here and select auto run. So the next one, we're going to go ahead and just start at the top. So that's simple. Just go through. I say leave all the locations where they're putting everything. Install it. Restart the computer now. No, I'll restart it later. Finish. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, pretty simple. I'm going to switch with my left hand, the mouse, instead of holding the phone. Let's see. Next. Next. Finish. Okay. We gotta do the floppy drivers. We're gonna do the 64-bit. Setup information. Okay, well, let me read this and I'll get right back to you guys. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and skip this one because we're not gonna have floppies anyways, but there doesn't seem to be an execute file, so whatever, I'm not gonna spend much time on it or worry about it. See, there's usually something really simple like setup and chipset, and that's what we're looking for. I went through the directions, there was no execute file. I didn't really seem to understand it, so let's keep going. I will have to check it out and do some more research. So we're just doing all the chipset drivers. There's so many little components on these motherboards that we have to do the drivers for, and we'll do a restart later. So I already did the LAN driver. accept, next, same address, load it. Okay, finish. Yeah, all these are really quick for the most part. We may not need most of the stuff for, you know, crypto mining and whatnot, but I like to go ahead and install all the drivers anyways. Especially when it only takes 5 or 10 extra minutes. So I'm going to continue down this list, guys, and if I run into anything different or something that, you know, I think I need to highlight or point out to you guys instead of going through every one of these and making you watch it, I know it can get a little boring, but I know some people may not know exactly where to click or what to do, so it might actually help them to see exactly what I'm clicking. I know I'm going through this really quickly, but it's pretty simple. You're going to open, you know, extract, download each one, which is going to be zipped, and then extract them into one folder as I just did, and then just go down the list, and then open each folder and look for an execute file. Of course, you can always pause the video and see which one that I'm double clicking on the execute file. But I think most people already know this, but I'm just trying to cover it really quickly. Okay, the audio drivers just finished. Let's go to the next one. So this is an ASRock driver. Yeah, these are going through really quickly. And, you know, I used to actually restart every time I'd install a driver. And then I got rushed one time and decided not to restart it. So I know not restarting on this board, the H81 Pro BTC R2.0, works. Now I'm hoping that the same thing will work with this one. As we go through it, let's see, an application PDF config file. OEM installer, what is this exactly? SBA. Something from Intel. Okay, I'll install it. Let it do its thing. Okay, so this turns out to be the Small Business Advantage setup. Actually, I'm not going to install this. I'm just going to go ahead and cancel it because I don't see the need for this. So I'm going to skip that one. Finish. Yeah, something small business. I'm not worried about that. I have no idea what that is. Then we're going to want the VGA port. And of course, if you guys know something different, always leave me a comment down and below. I try to read all the comments. Maybe a little slow, but I get to them. This computer does not meet a minimum requirement for installing the software. Okay. This is a VGA port. Interesting. Alright, I'm not going to worry about it. Let's go ahead and restart this computer. Alright, while this is restarting, I'm going to go to the website and kind of double check some of these drivers and make sure we don't need the ones that I skipped. So, I'll be right back. Okay, probably should have checked a little bit more of this before I did the video instead of just winging it. So what I realized is, yeah, these things are not going to be necessary. Really, the key things are going to be your LAN drivers and, of course, your Intel Management Engine driver. Everything else, maybe the Intel Rapid Storage, but everything else is not going to be that important. But I realized that not really reading what these things were, cancel, let's just shrink this. I managed to install the ASRock Shop app, which I don't want on this computer, so we're going to go ahead and uninstall that. I'm not even sure which one that was, but keep a lookout for that. But I think that was the only thing I installed that I do not want. Everything else is okay. I try to I prefer to keep these things as stripped as possible. I don't want them to run, you know, more than what they have to. I'm not even sure what this is. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to look this up. I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't know what it is. And you know, may wind up installing that. But let's move on, guys. Now that we've got all the drivers installed, I've restarted the computer. For the base computer, now we've got to do the graphics cards. I only have one graphics card plugged in this entire time. I probably should have mentioned that in the first part of the video, but I actually told you guys in this first video that, you know, I was only going to work with just one graphics card. But it should not matter up to this point because all you were doing were base drivers. So there are a couple of ways to get the computer to see all of your drivers or all of your cards pretty simply. I find some people like to install them with just one and then add them and then let it go through and find them and blink. Sometimes I find that I have trouble, that it doesn't always see them, and I have to wipe it and start over and then finally get it to see all the cards. So I seem to have more success when I plug in all of the cards and install the drivers with all of the cards installed. But at the same time, that can also cause problems. So if you have, I like to start with doing it that way. And if it goes through, it's usually pretty smooth. If it doesn't, then you need to revert to the single card being plugged in, install your drivers, and then install your cards one by one and get the system to recognize them. So we're going to go through this now and see what we can get set up. Alright guys, success. I went ahead and plugged everything in. I am going to start with the AMD drivers because the new 500 series may give me troubles, but we'll see. And NVIDIA is usually pretty simple, so we're going to get the Sapphire ones going first. I went ahead and plugged in all 13 GPUs and restarted the computer, and success. The screen flickered a few times for about 3 or 4 minutes. Just be patient, guys. And they all showed up, but we have no drivers installed. So again, I'm going to start with installing the AMD drivers. So let me go ahead and work on that. Okie dokie, I got my flash drive in and I'm ready to rock and roll. So I've been kind of out of it for the last couple of months since I've been at the wedding and the honeymoon, and just been a whirlwind trying to keep caught up with everything. So as of a couple of months ago, there was the drivers would not allow you to install 6 graphics cards. Every time you would install the 6 ones, we kept running into issues. So what we had to do is make a merge of the old drivers with the new drivers, the 470, 480 drivers with the 570, 580 drivers. That way that we can have both of them work. Now I have that already on a flash drive, and I'm going to go ahead and install that on this computer. Instead of just trying to download a new one, I'll also put a link. I'll go ahead and put this in my download center for you guys, and I'll put a link in the description for it as well, so that you can get to it. Now, the next thing I was thinking about is the easy way to tell which ones are which cards is the number. We have 7 of these and we have 6 of these. So these are the AMDs and this is the NVIDIAs. So let's go ahead and proceed. I'm going to right click this and we're going to do update driver software, browse my computer, and we want to browse. I want to go to this folder, and this is the modded Windows right here. The modded drivers that we need. So we're going to select this one. We're clicked OK, and then next. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and pause this and let us do its thing. Because these drivers were kind of like compiled, it doesn't recognize them. So we've got to go ahead and click this, install them anyways. Okay, we got this little message saying Windows successfully updated the driver software, so we'll go ahead and close this. Awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 RX 580s. Nice. So now let's just see if we can get it to recognize the 7 1080 Ti's. This is going to be an epic build, guys. I'm getting excited. I'm almost there. Alright guys, your next step is to go to NVIDIA's website. You want to go to geforce.com/drivers. Once we get here, we're going to come over here to manual driver search. Go to the drop down, select GeForce, select GeForce 10 series. Then you want to select the GeForce 1080 Ti, your operating system, Windows 10, 7, 32-bit, 64-bit. And we're going to select search. Okay, I don't want to get the beta driver. I'm going to go ahead and get the latest non-beta and download that. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and select run. It's going to prompt you through several steps. Just go ahead and install the drivers like you normally would. There you go, guys. Just got to load both drivers. I did run into a little bit of trouble doing the NVIDIA drivers. The Windows I had needed to be updated since I deferred the updates. I just had to re-update Windows, about 10 minutes, restart it, and then reinstall the drivers, and it recognized them right away. So we've got 13 GPUs on this Windows system up and running. Now, let's get a miner going. Let's see what's gonna happen. Left-handed mouse again. Shrink that. Let's start up Ethereum. All right. See, 6 cards. Awesome. Perfect. Okay, here we go. We're using the library miner for the NVIDIAs. It sees 7 miner threads right there. (3,261 mega hashes mining library. We'll get the Ethereum one in a minute to go ahead and get started up. So, now guys, I'm mining library. I also have got to go into, we're going to want to be able to modify these graphics cards so that we can reduce their power consumption. So we're going to want to probably get Msi Afterburner on here and do some minor tweaks. Of course, we can modify the BIOSes. So I'm going to go ahead and get the Afterburner on here because I know I can save quite a bit of power running library. If I leave it the way it is, it will pull at least 1,400, 1,500 watts. You can undervolt it and get it down to about 1,000 watts, which will be awesome for the library. And we can do the same thing with the AMD cards. So let's go ahead and get Afterburner installed on this computer, and I will go ahead and show you guys how I do a little bit of tweaks and set it up. Unfortunately, I do not have my meter here. I forgot it at a friend's house, so I will bring that over and show you guys the actual power consumptions once this thing is properly tweaked. But I'll do some quick tweaking tonight and just kind of show you guys what kind of results we can get. I can mine Zcash with this. As you guys already know, I just did a 2 1,600 watt power supplies. Zcash alone will, with 6 cards, it won't work. I'm sure it will run 5. So I'm just afraid I don't have enough power to run Zcash on this rig. I would have to add a 3rd power supply, which is definitely doable. You guys can get just like this 2-way splitter, you can pick up a 3-way splitter and run a 3rd power supply. This rig actually has the ability to put 4 power supplies in there, 1 over there, 1 more over here. So that'll work out really nicely. But for now, library is more profitable than Zcash, so I'm going to go ahead and mine library. Plus, I'm a library believer, being a YouTuber and all. Go library. And of course, gotta love your Ethereum. So waiting for this bad boy to start up, so I'll let it run for a few minutes. Alright guys, I ran into a few problems. It wasn't starting because it froze on me. For whatever reason, it was freezing. I kept playing with it and I couldn't figure out why it was freezing. So what I wind up doing was going in and doing changing a setting so that I can run 3 cards at a time, and it seems to be working just fine. I'm gonna have to run some tests, try to run this for a week or so and make sure everything works well. But what I did is I used the DI setting, which all I had to do was specify this in my start folder right here, what GPUs I wanted to do. So I'll show you that here in a second. So as you can see right there, I changed the DI to 012 for the first one, and then for the second one I changed it to the DI 345, and that is how I got all of them started and going. Now you will run into another port error, which is basically just for management. So you will probably want to add if you get the red error for the import, you'll want to turn it off, add the minus import space 0 along to your BAT files. I'm not sure if it was necessary or not, but if you look at the pools, I'm using US1 and US2 with 2 different ports. So if you run into an issue, this may be the solution, to use 2 separate ports. You can also find these links on the front page of ethmine.org. Well, there you have it, guys. 13 GPUs mining Ethereum, or excuse me, in total, 6 mining Ethereum, 7 mining LBRY. We're achieving, without any modifications, straight cards, 3,259 mega hashes for LBRY and 64 mega hashes for Ethereum on 1 and 64 mega hashes for Ethereum on 2. Well, here you go, guys. This is the epic build. Now the next part is to go in and start setting up the overclock settings and stuff like that. So let me see if I can get that programmed. Okay, we're going to be using Msi Afterburners to undervolt these cards. So let this load up. Alright, I got Msi Afterburner installed. So let me show you how I like to set this up. So I like to go ahead and click startup so it automatically start up. And we want to be able to unlock the, oops, excuse me. I want to leave that one clicked. Unlock the under voltage control and the voltage monitoring. Start with Windows, and we can start it minimized. And that's it. Let's go down here and click save, click OK. Okay, so it's restarting. Alright, we got to restart it. So let's see how many GPUs this thing shows. Alright, we got 4. Let's go down a page. I'm not sure what those are exactly. Oh, those are the NVIDIAs. Okay, it only shows 8. That's it. Well, unfortunately, we're going to have to wait for, different software to catch up. There's always, the manual way of doing a BIOS mod. And actually a way this is working out. Well, it only shows 6 of the 1080 Ti's, not 7, which is a little weird, and then 2 of those. But I guess we can try to modify the ones that we can get to, but we can always use the BIOS mods for the AMD cards and reduce the power, so you can plug them in one at a time, play with them with this, and then make the mods, which we'll have to go back and do that. But for now, the key is to test this rig to see how it's working, to see how all of the software is going to go. I've got everything up and running at this point. except for the NVIDIA cards. We don't do BIOS mods to those generally. I think you can, I've read, but I've never actually tried it. So at least this sees 6 of them, so we should be able to reduce the power consumption by using the Msi Afterburner. I will have to check out some of the other software and see what else is available, but again, this is a brand new card to the market. It takes a lot of time to go through, test, set up everything. As I pause the video, there's a lot of stuff I'm doing in the background. Hours are going by sometimes, just trying to work through problems, trial and error. And as I learn it, I try to share it with you guys. I hope you guys do appreciate it. Remember, give me a thumbs up if you like the video. If you don't like my video, give me a thumbs down. What can I do but try and learn to do better next time? I hope you guys learned something today with me as I was building a 13 GPU rig. I'm really excited about getting this bad boy up and running. Unfortunately, I just don't have enough power in my garage right now, so I'm going to make a place in the house somewhere. I haven't quite figured out where yet. And get this thing running in the next couple of days. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Talk to you later on.